if you really want to use social media right, you need to understand the particular cultures of the particular platforms. And if companies need to choose which platform fits best for their particular objective, which can be anything from awareness to consideration, preference, action, or loyalty, they need to figure out which platform fits best. Facebook has a very different culture from Twitter. Twitter has a very different culture from Pinterest. So if you do not understand these differences between these platforms, it will be difficult for you to use these social media well. And then so it's not necessarily looking at what my competitors are doing and moving into the technology, because everybody is on that technology. No, companies need to make clear decisions about what are my particular objectives and how does my company culture maybe also fit well with the particular culture of these different platforms. Communities are very attractive for companies because the promise of community is that you're going to have a group of like-minded, enthusiastic, loyal consumers that are going to share their ideas with you. The reality of communities is that it's usually not the case. The reality of communities is that you find consumers together that actually have very different tastes. Usually these different consumer groups also start to engage in what I call warfare with one another. So companies that engage in these community adventures, hoping to find this group of like-minded, loyal consumers, end up with a group of consumers that actually fight with one another. And companies need to understand that that actually can be a strength. Because with these fights, let's say, consumers also express themselves about what they like, what they don't like, and they will try to negotiate that with one another. Companies can learn a lot about that, on how they could, for example, improve their products or adapt the products to particular target audiences. And then another misunderstanding with communities is that companies focus a lot on the core members, the ones that are most active, the opinion leaders. And if you want to engage a community, you need to look at everybody. Well, the how can we measure success and efficiency is really the million-dollar question, let's say, at the moment. A lot of companies have engaged in this social media adventure, not knowing necessarily what it is that they want to reach, and there is even less knowledge about how can we actually really measure the ROI. So I've done some research with a couple of colleagues of mine in just the Paris area among only 35 companies, so it's not necessarily representative. And indeed, companies say, you know, we do not actually really know what it is that we want to reach, we do not know our objectives, we do not have budget necessarily to measure that. And then there is all this, there's sometimes, on the one hand, there is way too much information, because with social media you can track everything, but then what is the pertinent, what is the really key metrics that you need to look at? So there's a lot of uncertainty around this. Of course, there's a lot of people, including researchers, that are looking into these things now. And for my own research, I can say, for example, if you engage in social media conversations and community, you need to look beyond the number of likes. You need to look beyond the number of how many people have reacted. You need to really look much more on than what has been said and what has been the longer term effects on, for example, a marketing campaign, a word of mouth campaign in an online community, on that community and on what people really think about my brand. So a lot of new metrics are being developed now.